Welcome to North America Immigration Today, your trusted source for the latest and most accurate immigration news, updates, and insights for the United States and Canada.
Donald Trump is preparing for a dramatic return to the White House, and his focus is sharper than ever. At the core of his agenda is one of the most heated topics in American politics: immigration. Trump has revealed bold and highly controversial plans that could change the way America handles its borders and its immigration policies for years to come. His proposals include the largest deportation effort in U.S. history and the potential revival of contentious policies like family separations. Unsurprisingly, these ideas have sparked intense debates, stirring strong emotions across the nation. But what exactly does Donald Trump have planned for his second term? How will these decisions shape the lives of millions, both in America and beyond? Stay with us as we dive into the details of Trump's ambitious immigration plans and explore what they could mean for the future of the country and the world. Republican President-elect Donald Trump is preparing to take bold steps aimed at cracking down on illegal immigration while also working to restrict legal immigration. These actions, which align with his campaign promises, are set to build on unfinished efforts from his first term in office between 2017 and 2021. When Trump returns to the White House on January 20th, he is expected to roll out significant changes to U.S. immigration policies. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the measures that Trump, his campaign team, and news reports have outlined so far. First, Trump has announced plans to launch the largest deportation operation in American history. His primary focus, he says, will be on removing criminals from the country, but his broader goal is to send millions of undocumented immigrants back to their home countries. This massive effort would require resources from across the U.S. government and is expected to face major challenges along the way. On his very first day as president, Trump plans to issue a series of executive actions to increase immigration enforcement. According to a report from Reuters, Trump may also declare a national emergency, which would give him access to additional powers and military assets to support his deportation efforts. In a post on Truth Social, Trump appeared to confirm this strategy, stating his intent to set a new record for deportations of undocumented immigrants living in the United States. In addition to these actions, Trump plans to immediately overturn President Joe Biden's immigration policies. Biden had prioritized arresting serious criminals and largely avoided targeting immigrants without criminal records. Trump, however, aims to expand enforcement across the board. It's important to note that immigration was one of the key issues in the recent election, where Trump defeated Vice President Kamala Harris, who became the Democratic Party's candidate after Biden ended his re-election campaign in July. During a rally in Wisconsin this past September, Trump made headlines by describing the deportation process as potentially being a bloody story. This statement drew strong criticism from immigrant rights advocates, who view his rhetoric as inflammatory. When speaking to Time magazine in April, Trump said he wouldn't rule out building new detention camps for migrants. However, he downplayed the need for them, explaining that his plan for rapid deportations would minimize the requirement for large-scale facilities. In support of Trump's vision, the state of Texas has already stepped in with a significant offer. The Texas General Land Office announced it is providing the administration with 1,400 acres of land located near the U.S.-Mexico border to assist with the deportation efforts. Donald Trump has stated that he would rely on the National Guard, if necessary, to arrest and deport immigrants living in the United States illegally. When asked about this plan, he said he would even consider using federal troops if the situation required it. However, such a step is likely to face serious challenges in the courts, as it raises legal and constitutional concerns. Trump has also promised to take stronger measures against immigrants with criminal records or suspected gang affiliations. To achieve this, he plans to invoke the Alien Enemies Act, a law that has existed for over 200 years. This law was last used during World War II, when people of Japanese, German, and Italian descent were detained in the U.S. At a rally in Aurora, Colorado, in October, Trump took an even more controversial stance. He called for the death penalty for migrants who commit violent crimes, such as killing U.S. citizens or law enforcement officers. This proposal has sparked heated debates and drawn criticism from immigration advocates. Stephen Miller, a key figure behind Trump's first-term immigration policies, is expected to return to a high-level position in the White House. In an interview last year on a conservative podcast, Miller shared another bold idea. He suggested that National Guard troops from supportive states could be sent to less cooperative, or what he called unfriendly, states to assist with deportations. This proposal, if implemented, would likely lead to significant legal battles. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance also weighed in on the topic. In an interview with the New York Times in October, he stated that deporting 1 million immigrants per year would be a reasonable goal. Interestingly, deportation numbers under President Biden have already reached record highs. During the 2023 fiscal year, U.S. immigration authorities deported 468,000 migrants to their home countries or returned them to Mexico. This figure is higher than the annual deportation totals under Trump's presidency. Trump has also promised to bring back his 2019 Remain in Mexico program. This policy required asylum seekers, primarily from specific countries, to stay in Mexico while their immigration cases were processed. By reinstating this program, Trump hopes to discourage migrants from crossing into the U.S. illegally. The Trump transition team is discussing additional measures to block migrants caught crossing the border from claiming asylum. According to sources, they are exploring whether executive authority could be used to enforce these restrictions. During a campaign event in Arizona, Trump criticized a recent asylum ban introduced by the Biden administration. He argued that the policy, while similar to his earlier efforts, does not go far enough to secure the border. Despite its shortcomings, this ban has contributed to a significant drop in illegal crossings. One of Trump's key promises is to end a practice he calls catch and release. This policy allowed migrants caught at the border to be released while waiting for their court hearings. Instead, Trump plans to detain all migrants who are caught entering the U.S. illegally or breaking immigration laws. At a campaign rally in October, Trump announced plans to request funding from Congress to hire 10,000 additional Border Patrol agents. This would represent a major increase in the force's size, boosting its capacity to handle immigration enforcement. However, critics have pointed out that Trump previously opposed a bipartisan border security bill that could have added 1,300 new agents earlier this year. Trump has also suggested using tariffs as a tool to pressure other countries, such as China, into stopping their citizens from migrating illegally to the United States. By imposing financial penalties on nations that fail to address migration issues, Trump hopes to further deter illegal border crossings. In summary, Trump's border enforcement strategy includes increased personnel, stricter policies, and leveraging international trade to achieve his goals. These plans are part of his broader vision to secure the U.S.-Mexico border and reduce illegal immigration. Donald Trump has proposed bringing back travel bans, targeting people from specific countries or those with certain ideologies. This plan expands on a policy that was approved by the Supreme Court in 2018. In an October 2023 speech, Trump outlined some areas that could face these renewed restrictions. He mentioned countries like the Gaza Strip, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, and, as he put it, anywhere else that threatens our security. During the speech, Trump emphasized the conflict in Gaza. He said he would ban immigrants who support the militant group Hamas, and he proposed sending deportation officers to monitor pro-Hamas protests. Last June, Trump also stated that he would work to block communists, Marxists, and socialists from entering the United States. When it comes to legal immigration, Trump has shared plans to end the humanitarian parole programs introduced by President Biden. These programs allowed hundreds of thousands of migrants who had U.S. sponsors to enter the country and get work permits. Trump has called these programs an outrageous abuse of parole authority. He also announced that he would work to stop automatic citizenship for children born in the U.S. to parents who are living in the country illegally. This idea, which he discussed during his first term, would face major legal challenges as it contradicts a long-standing interpretation of the U.S. Constitution. During his first presidency, Trump significantly reduced the number of refugees allowed into the U.S. Trump has repeatedly pushed for what he describes as a merit-based immigration system. This system, he says, would protect American workers and uphold American values. In his first term, he tightened access to visa programs, even suspending many work visas during the pandemic. The Trump campaign has also criticized a Biden program, currently blocked by a federal judge, which offered a path to citizenship for immigrants married to U.S. citizens who have lived in the country for at least 10 years. Lastly, Trump has said he would roll back Temporary Protected Status, or TPS, which offers deportation relief and work permits to migrants from countries facing crises. DACA. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, widely known as DACA, provides deportation relief and work permits to undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, often referred to as dreamers. During his first term, Trump attempted to terminate DACA, but his efforts were blocked by the Supreme Court in June 2020. According to reports from the New York Times, he intends to try once again to eliminate the program. This move would undoubtedly spark further debate and legal challenges, as DACA has provided critical protections for hundreds of thousands of young immigrants in the United States.
Thanks for watching North America Immigration Today. Please subscribe for more updates on U.S. and Canada immigration news. See you in the next video.